What's going on, everybody? This is the Daily Fantasy Show brought to you by DFO. It's Wednesday, October 18th. Adam is off this week. He's working. So, we have a 3-game slate tonight. We'll just hop right to it. First game of the night, we have the Detroit Red Wings traveling to Toronto to face the Maple Leafs. Maple Leafs beat the Capitals last night 2-0, so they're on a back-to-back. My leans to here is still to the Maple Leafs. I don't really think Detroit is very good. Obviously, if you want to use the Matthews line, obviously that's in play tonight. I prefer the Bozak line with JVR and Connor Brown. I just think they get a better matchup. They get a depth line. Probably the Kadri line is going to be on the Zetterberg line. So I probably just avoid those two lines there, the Zetterberg line and the Kadri line. If you want to go six-man stack, you can go the JVR line, or the Bozak line with the Matthews line. Matthews and Nylander, and you can use on the blue line with that either Gardner or Zaitsev, depending on how you want to correlate the power play. And I've been seeing my buddy Curtis, I don't even know how to pronounce it. We're just going to call him Curtis. Curtis is 7,800 against Detroit. I feel like he's going to be a popular option tonight, even though the Wings are on a back-to-back, the Maple Leafs are on a back-to-back. If you're not going to use any Wings at all, I can see that being a play. It's a 3-game slate, so nothing is really off the table. And it looks like Jimmy Howard at 6,900 is in for the Wings tonight. That can be a cheap play if you need some salary relief, if you're not using the Wings. If you're going to use the Kings or the Blues or something like that, you can use Jimmy Howard if you need the salary cap space at 6,900. From the Wings perspective, from the skaters, I don't really have too much interest in the Zetterberg line. They're going to be up against the Kadri line most likely all night, probably at least for 15 minutes a night. I don't like that Justin Albuquerque is still on the second line instead of Furk. So, you can use Larkin and Mantha. That's fine. I actually don't even mind if you're not using Leafs goalie. If you're using Franz Nielsen and Marty Furk, that could work too. I like Mike Green on the blue line. That's really about it. My interest in the Red Wings aren't very high. So we'll move on to the second game of the night. We have the Blackhawks traveling to St. Louis to face the Blues. Looks like Alexander Steen is back for the Blues. He'll be skating with Stastny and Tarasenko. Anytime those three are together, that is a target for me. Stastny's still 5,100, so that's cheap. He doesn't shoot very often, but he is definitely better than Joey Otera. We all have feelings about that from last year. Tarasenko, 7,600, and Steen is cheap for Steen at 5,000. So, that's not a very expensive line to stack. Still gives you options to fill out your lineup the rest of the way. You want to use Pietro on the blue line with them, that's fine. He's expensive, 6,500, so you'd have to get a little funky to finish out your lineup there. Or you can use Colton Pyarko, 4,400. I don't mind that. It doesn't really correlate on the power play, but if you're going to use him, I would probably go Shen and Schwartz. Although I think it depends on the power play units. I think they kind of mix up the power plays over the two strength lines. Going forward, if Barbashev's going to be with Sobotka, I think you don't need to dig that deep tonight, but you want to save that line going forward on a bigger slate. I believe it's Jake Allen tonight, 7,600. I like it. he's not my top goalie tonight, but, you know, there's only 6 goalies going tonight, so gotta put in somebody. And if you're gonna use the Blues, like, you know, you can correlate that with Jake Allen. That's fine. For the Blackhawks, probably it depends if Schmaltz is back in. I believe he is. If that's the case, I like the second line with him and Kane, and that would be my preferred. I mean, if you want to chase Taves, that's fine. I mean, maybe he's a better hockey player than a DFS player, but you want to. I mean, there's nothing really too off limits. If you want to dig deep to the third line and Anisimov and those guys, I mean, you can use, but they should score some goals tonight, I would think. If you want to punt a D-man, Jan Ruta, he's been playing good to start the season. You can use him there. I mean, if you want to pay it for Keith or Seabrook, fine. I mean, they don't really excite me too much. Corey Crawford, not a huge Crawford guy. He's cheap tonight, though. So if you want to use him, you know, I'm not going to talk you off that. But 7,600, I'm probably going to use more Blues than I would use Crawford tonight. I think the Blues are going to be pretty high owned, but there's only so many ways to go tonight. But if you want to leverage a couple Crawford lineups, that would make sense to me. So let's go to the last game. The Montreal Canadiens traveling to LA to face the Kings. The Canadiens lost last night 5-2 against the Sharks, so they're on a back-to-back. The Kings are tough to score against. The one thing I'll say about Montreal is the top line is pretty good. Jonathan Drouin, Max Pacioretty, and Arturi Lehkonen. They're going to go under-owned tonight because I feel like everyone's going to be on Kings and Quick. So they can be a nice low-owned option tonight. Blue line, Shea Weber with them makes the most sense. He's 5,400. He's starting to come out of it a little bit. Or you want to punt Victor Meat. He's 3,300. He played 22 minutes last night, so that's a viable punt play right there. Now to the Kings. So everyone's going to be on this top line tonight, right? Kopitar, Dustin Brown. Dustin Brown's not good. I'm not chasing him. You want to play him, be my guest. I'm not using him. 5,400, it's way too expensive for Dustin Brown. He's the third liner. He's been playing above his head because Kopitar's been carrying that line. I have no interest. If he burns me, he burns me. I'm more apt, if you want to use the top line, just to use Kopitar with Doughty as a mini, or if you want to make it a full, 6-man stacks are of course in play on a short slate, so you can do something like Kopitar, Carter, Toffoli, Pearson, and then 2 D-men, Doughty, Muzzin, or Alec Martinez. If you need the salary, I guess you can use Dustin Brown if you really want to. I'm not going to talk you off that because he's been playing well. I just don't believe in him anymore. He's not a good player. Iafallo, still 3,700. Needs salary. He's with Kopitar. He's on the second power play unit, I believe, with Pearson and Muzzin, so he can go there. Goalies, I'm going to have some quick at 8,300. I don't like to spend up for goalies, but I don't really see too many other options tonight that I love, so 8,300 I'll be spending up for him. It's probably going to be Al Montoya for the Canadiens. He's 7,100. I believe this is his first start of the season. It's not a good spot. They're on a back-to-back. They just gave up 5 goals. They're in LA. It's tough environment. I guess if you want to leverage the field a little bit, you can do that. I'm not going to. I'll probably have. I mean, if you're going to use the Canadian skaters, you can use Montoya. It makes sense there. But I'm going to have a bunch of Quick in the Kings. Also, I'm going to have some Blues. I'm going to have some Leafs. I'm going to be light on the road teams tonight. I think I'm going heavy on the home teams. So that's that. So make sure to check out daily face-off, we have the premium projections. We have the optimizer for cash and GPP. We have the premium chat that I'm in every night from 5:45 to 6:45. Again, if you want to, I'm not playing cash tonight, but I am playing GPPs. If you want to see my GPP lineup, you are more than welcome to challenge me to a free head-to-head just to get a look at it. My name is JRH002 on DraftKings, so send those my way, and we will see you tomorrow. Later.